Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Massive Gaming and welcome to some Call of Duty news. In this video, we'll begin over the new update that was just released, which includes some gameplay fixes, weapon tuning, and much more. And anytime if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to see for the like button. For everything Call of Duty, make sure to subscribe, turn on notification bell, and join the notification squad. And let's get right to it. Let's begin with the gameplay changes. First of all, they say loot that spawns across both Verdansk and Rebirth Island has been adjusted as follows. For the Street Sweeper, common variant removed from ground loot, uncommon variant removed from ground loot, rare variant removed from supply boxes, and epic variant also removed from supply boxes. Then we have the opposite of that, the Hawa 77, common variant added to the ground loot, uncommon variant added to the ground loot, and rare variant added to supply drops. So they basically removed all the variants of the Street Sweeper from Warzone and they added all the variants for the Hawa 77 into Warzone. They move on to say that the Street Sweeper's wide availability fostered a dynamic where passive plays were incentivized and rewarded. We do not think this type of play is particularly compelling for either party when players do not have the necessary tools in the early game to effectively counter it. Okay, so for that reason they ended up removing the Street Sweeper, and let's be honest, the Street Sweeper shotgun is a very overpowered gun. I mean, what do you expect when you have a fully auto shotgun? It's just gonna be OP. We move on from the gameplay changes to some bug fixes. The first thing they say is that they fixed additional map locations in Verdansk that allowed players to reach out of bounds areas. This is on top of the locations that we addressed last week. Okay, they also fixed a bug causing player models to initially load as low resolution at the start of a battle royale match, and they also fixed a bug with the Cold War weapons, the AK-47, the FARA 83, the XM4, and the RPD, where they were having their ADS move speed and farmed move speeds decreased with the tactical and the SAS combat / the Spetsnaz stock rather than increased. Okay, that was actually a very big problem, because when you're supposed to increase in something, it was decreasing it. Now that was a very big problem alongside the out of the map glitches. Thankfully these are no longer issues and everybody can enjoy the game as it's supposed to be. Okay, now we move on to everybody's favorite part. Now of course some of you guys will be upset and some of you guys will be happy, and that is of course none other than the weapon tuning. But just before we get into what weapons got nerfed and what weapons got buffed, Raven Software provided us with some insight on their thought process on how they do the weapon tuning. So let's see what they say. They start off by saying there are millions of you, and when we reduce the effectiveness of a weapon, we are bound to make a change to someone's favorite gun. As players of this game ourselves, it pains us just as much. However, we remain torn. We are the custodians of this game. We make it for you. In the same light, we are charged with maintaining the health and integrity of the game. In some instances, this requires us to reduce the effectiveness of some universally cherished weapons. When we make a change like this, our intent is the promotion of diversity. We believe what makes a game truly engaging is choice. When we diminish that choice, we take away the agency to play the game your way. This can happen when a weapon becomes so effective that simply not utilizing it puts you at a disadvantage. Okay, that's fair enough. With that being said, we feel we are close to a balanced homeostasis, where most options are at the very least viable, which leaves us to address time to kill. The following balance changes are part of our ongoing efforts to raise the TTK, or time to kill, at least the individual skill required to reach extreme ones. We ask that you consider these changes not as targeted attacks, but rather as part of a larger initiative to raise the skill ceiling. We want to give you the runway and the platform to show us your epic plays and proudest moments. We hope that journey of mastery brings you as much enjoyment as it does us. Okay, I totally understand what Raven Software is trying to do here. Of course, not everybody's going to be happy with some buffs and nerfs, but to make most people happy, they have to do some buffs and nerfs, and that's what they've done here. So let's go through each weapon and what it has buffed and what it has nerfed. Okay, I recommend you guys to get a drink and sit down just in case your favorite weapon gets nerfed. Let's start off with the first weapon class, and that is going to be the assault rifles, and the first weapon is going to be the CR56 AMAX. The CR56's minimum damage got decreased from 32 to 31, and of course keep in mind in Warzone only. They say with a great damage profile, locational multipliers, and manageable recoil, the CR56 AMAX was able to reliably reach extreme TTKs, time to kills, at long range. This change reduces its fastest minimum damage TTK by about 17%, in addition to its lowest minimum damage TTK by an additional shot. Its fastest maximum damage TTK, however, remains intact, which is a risk we feel is equal to the reward considering how unforgiving its rate of fire is and how many other weapons it has to contest with in the mid-range engagement space. The CR56 AMAX is just a tad more dominant than we would like it to be, and with this change our aim is to widen the selection of viable long-range assault rifles. So in short, the CR56 AMAX just got nerfed. We move on to another assault rifle, and this time it's the FARA 83, with the headshot multiplier decreased from 1.5 to 1.35 and the base ADS move speed decreased by 7%. When combined with a mobility based stock, the FARA 83 was capable of reaching exceedingly fast ADS firing speeds. We like how the FARA 83 plays, but it is a bit too versatile currently. As part of our efforts to increase the overall time to kill, we are reducing the FARA 83's fastest TTK by 16.6% to compensate for its generous rate of fire and recoil control. So just like the CR56, the FARA 83 just got nerfed. Next up we have the shotguns, and this one's mainly the street sweeper. It got nerfed as well, with the base hip spread increased, recoil increased slightly, and ADS speed reduced slightly. While shotguns tend to have limited viability outside of the early game, we find the street sweeper is a tad too effective given its rate of fire and ammo capacity when compared to other weapons of its class. This change will decrease its lethal range slightly, punish inaccurate sustained fire, and give a little more time to react. Next up we move to the submachine guns, and we have another nerf, and this time to the bullfrog, with its maximum damage decreased from 34 to 32, maximum damage range increased by 11%, base move speed increased by 1%, and sprint out speed increased by 13%. The bullfrog's exceptional headshot multiplier has allowed it to reach one of the fastest TTKs in the game. While this change does not directly affect the multiplier, it does diminish its output. This change reduces the bullfrog's ability to consistently achieve extreme TTKs while not removing it entirely. We felt it was too easy to consistently reduce the TTKs to these ranges, so we are asking for a bit more accuracy in exchange for the bullfrog's attractive stat line. We are hesitant to label this an output nerf, as we believe there is more value to a weapon than its damage alone. So what they have done is that they've nerfed the bullfrog, but they haven't nerfed it too much, so it is still pretty much very similar to what it was before this small nerf. Next up we have our first and only buff of this weapon tuning, and that is the PPSH41, with its maximum damage range increased by 4% and the open bolt delay decreased by 80%. We would like to push SMGs in different and interesting directions to distinguish them from one another. Ideally, we are providing a myriad of options within each weapon category that are supplementary to a multitude of diverse playstyles. In that vein, we are going to push the PPSH41's identity in a way that continues to diversify it from its competition in meaningful ways. To us, the PPSH41 is the quick to fire, high capacity, short to mid-range SMG. Not every weapon needs to have the highest TTK potential, but every weapon should at least feel viable and have a niche where it excels given a complementary playstyle. Okay, in terms of the buffs and nerfs for the weapon, that would do it. Make sure to tell me in the comment section down below if you guys are happy about this or not, if your weapon got nerfed or not, or maybe your weapon didn't even get touched at all. Make sure to tell me in the comment section down below. But weapons were not the only ones that got a buff or a nerf. Attachments also, some got buffed and some got nerfed. First of all, for the barrels, this is the sniper barrels only. For the combat recon, bullet velocity multiplier is increased by 12% and the ADS idle sway multiplier decreased by 33.3%. For the optics, the axial arms ×3 for the Cold War AK-47 only. Optic behavior improved. Next up we have the stocks, the Raider/KGB skeletal stock for the assault rifles, LMGs, shotguns and snipers. ADS firing speed multiplier decreased by 75%, ADS move speed multiplier decreased by 10%. And the same stock, the Raider/KGB skeletal stock, this time for the submachine guns, ADS firing speed multiplier decreased by 50% and ADS move speed multiplier decreased by 10%. For the SAS combat/the Spetsnaz stock, assault rifles, light machine guns, shotguns and snipers, ADS firing speed multiplier decreased by 75% and the ADS move speed multiplier decreased by 10%. The same stock, but this time for the submachine guns, ADS firing speed multiplier decreased by 50% and the ADS move speed multiplier decreased by 10%. And lastly we have the tactical stock for the assault rifles, the LMGs, shotguns and snipers, ADS move speed multiplier decreased by 75%, tactical stock submachine guns, ADS move speed multiplier decreased by 50%. Alright, and there you have it. That was the new Warzone update with all of its bug fixes, gameplay changes, weapon tuning and attachment tuning as well. Like I said, make sure to tell me in the comment section down below, are you happy about these changes, are you not? I would love to read what you guys think about this. And of course, as you guys know, with this new update, that means there's gonna be new metas in Warzone. I cannot wait to get into Warzone, try out some weapons, see what the new meta is, and of course bring you guys some videos about it. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to see for the like button. For everything Call of Duty, make sure to subscribe, turn on notification bell and join the notification squad, and I'll catch you guys later.